Welcome to UX Banter Season 6, where we sit down with design leaders to hear their stories, insights, and what drives their passion for creating better user experiences. This season, we are exploring everything from designing with AI in mind to building trust, navigating industry shifts, and staying inspired in a fast moving field. This podcast is presented by Galaxy UX Studio and powered by Galaxy Publics, an Inc. 5000 company. And I'm your host, Dushyant Kanungo. Welcome to the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the UX Banter podcast. Our guest today is an experienced designer with over 20 years of expertise blending craftsmanship, empathy, process, AI driven tools to shape user experience and digital transformation. He's also a founder of Learner at Large, a platform where he mentors UX designers at every stage of their career, sharing practical frameworks and insights rooted in continuous learning. Through his work, he continues to inspire designers to grow, adapt, and embrace the evolving role of design in technology-driven world. Please welcome the Director of Design and Strategy at Esperia Studio, Ranjithkumar Rajarethinam. Hi, Ranjit. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dushyant. Thank you. Finally, we are here. We tried to push it a couple of times, but I'm really happy we are here finally. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
So, doing all that, running a studio and mentoring and walking the line, as they say. So, how the journey has been like? Where have you started, and what made you what you are?
Great. So, one question that I'm always trying to answer better all the time when somebody asks this question. So, this time I'll give you a better answer. So, I do have a video which I can show a little later because that's something that I eventually evolved to get this question answered in a pretty good way, showcasing the way I am now. So, in words, I would say I started my career in 2004 and always been into creative side of things where in the video when you watch later you can see that I would say I hated math. Right, so I was you could clearly make out that I was a creative thinker. I mostly probably use my right side of the brain more than the left side of the brain. So I always want to be creative. I love drawing, sketching, and stuff like that. And 2004 is probably the turning point where I started my career, figured out there is a career here when you can actually design things on the screen and stuff like that. So that's where I started. I would say things have come full circle now. Really, with the AI coming in, I can see everything that I learned so far, everything that I did so far is actually coming in a full circle. I can do multiple things in a different scale now. So again, trying to cut the answer short, I would call myself a generalist UX practitioner. Probably have played multiple roles, almost every single role that a UX designer might want to do, but not a pretty much. I cannot call myself a really expert in each of those, but there are a couple of things that I'm really passionate about, really jump deep into, like prototyping, interaction design, and strategy. So right now, where I stand, I handle this lovely team of bunch of designers in Esperia Studio. We are an enterprise design agency. We help enterprises build their business. We also build AI products by the side. And also, since I'm always excited talking to entry level designers, so I want to make sure I always am in touch with that part. So I always would love to mentor entry level designers. So that's why I'm a part of multiple platforms like ADP List, whatnot. And that's where the idea of Learner at Large came in. It's nothing but my personal brand where I try to broadcast my thoughts, although you might not find anything comprehensive there out in the internet because it's just what I
I
want.
was about to ask you about that Learner at Large initiative of yours. What are the most common challenges that you face while mentoring?
Mentoring, yeah. I mean, most common challenges, there are multiple topics that we can talk about. One is the type of questions that come in. Okay, so when I mentor people, mostly entry level designers or mid level designers, mostly the questions are around, okay, how do I build a eye catchy portfolio? Okay, how do I land this job, that job? Instead of most of the folks might not ask a long term question. Okay, how do I build my career, right? So they most of the questions are short sighted. Most of the time I might not be able to give a very to the point answer to them also. Let's say Okay, they want to land a job. Okay, I'm looking for a job now. I need to get into a product company, top 5 consultants or FANG companies. What do I do? Can you review my portfolio? Instead of that, I just give them a very generic initial advice. Okay, make sure you have that stamp of yours on whatever you do. So basically, if you're building a portfolio, make sure that you are not copying or you are not trying to be another portfolio in the market, but at the same time, there is something unique that each of us have. For example, I am pretty much excited about prototyping. So when I build something and then make it work on a browser, especially, I feel like over the cloud. So that's my specialty. So now,
So, I mean, here you said that you work a lot with the entry-level designers, which are Gen Zs at the moment who are coming into play. Your 2 decades of experience, I mean, that includes Morgan Stanley and GE, and the enterprise mindset, which is very different from anybody who is coming in. They have hardly any idea that what is expected out of it. Do you see that any um, particular way that we can guide the next generation into that mix, and things must have changed dramatically for you as well while you were working from starting to Esperia?
yeah, great question, Dushan. So I think it's a learning for me also. As you mentioned, AI, it's a new era where everything is like coming to a everything amalgamates, and right now where we are at a point is nobody knows exactly how to use what's the right use case to use this. Okay, how can we combine these different things and add this into workflow? So my thought process here, my answer to your question is the new entry level designers right now, they are in one of the best stages of their design phase. I would
Yeah.
like to give a conflicting answer because most of the folks I talk to, they give a very gloomy answer. I attended another
Right.
conference last week when somebody asked, okay, what is advice that you want to give for students? Then he says, oh, I'm not sure. So it was a very gloomy answer. It was a little scary also, but I don't think we have to be so much scared. So you can, as long as you have, so my answer would be, if you have something in your mind, just go for it and build it. Okay, and you find the tools that actually helps you to do that. With the current scheme of things, you have every single thing. If you have to prototype, you can get into Figma Make, V0, Cursor, Lovable. You can just, if you're really good at prompting, if you're not good at prompting, go ahead and eh, try to test it out, try to do something on your own. Earlier we had to have the access to different folks, community needed to be there, you need to get reach out to a mentor. Right now you just need a really good internet connection, maybe a few bucks per month. You don't need all the subscriptions in the world. You can just try things out, and really the level of learning is like 10 times better. So I would say just go ahead and start building things and put it out there. That's my advice.
Do you think that it is now has come to a point where a junior designer or the entry level person has the same resources as somebody who has 15 years of experience, because we are all learning the same stuff together, with every other month some new tool and tech is coming? So I mean, ideally, with the experienced designers, can we just simply call it that it's a career shift? So you just imagine if your older job did not exist. Now, where do you go from here and take AI as it comes with the face?
Great question again. So I think this is the time, the difference between a senior level designer, mid level designer, let's say somebody who is having 20 plus years experience like me, or an entry level designer. All those comes to a single line basically. So they all have the right. The resources available is all the same. Okay, and the learning curve is probably the same also. I believe. For example, I'm just taking an example of Axure prototyping. Okay, once upon a time there was, I don't know.
Amazing tool, amazing product. I actually got a couple of jobs that I did because I was using Azure prototyping correct way.
Yeah, it's one of the best I've seen, but it is having a lot of learning curve. The learning curve is too steep over there. The way they have put dynamic panels, scripting, and all. Only if you have the patience to go ahead and get the prototype out, you will go ahead and learn it. right? So
Yeah.
the learning curve is too much. The tool wasn't intuitive, but now the user experience is out there in every tool you use also. Look at
Uh-huh.
Figma, look at Lovable. The tool creators are amazing UX designers, right? So the learning curve has drastically gone down. It's just the vision that matters and the taste. That's what I understand so far in the last 2 years. So even if you're an entry level designer, you have the taste of things, you know what to build. Of course, with experience comes a lot of finesse, polishing mentality, iterating mentality. And if you're an entry level designer, you might just go for the first cut. That's normal. But I would say, yes, resources are the same, just the vision and the push. Okay, are you ready to go do 3 iterations, or do you want to just go ahead in your first iteration and go make it live? I think that is what is differentiating the output now. I'm a big proponent of iterative design. I always want to push something in the first cut. Always that push is there in my mind, but make sure it goes through a couple of eyes at least 3 times. Base that is one of the best things that best advice I can give to anybody. May it be designing anything, may it be going into an interview, may it be just taking any decisions, right? Just have 3 persons who can spend time on your decision, iterate it, it will be 10 times better. I think
Right.
apart from that, resources are the
I
same.
I understand. I absolutely get into the point where the iteration is important. Now, this is where if you are generating something with AI, do not take that as the final deliverable. It is something which is just given. Now you need to put your skills to enhance it. And you have to edit the Figma file. You have to change the code. You may have to edit the labels. Something or the other will require human intervention because if the output from AI was to be delivered, then most probably the job that you are at right now may not be needed. Um, okay, so we flew in that conversation so hard that we skipped the rapid fire round. So are you ready?
I am, yes, looking forward. I'll try to give the best answers I have. Let me see.
Okay, mornings or evenings?
Definitely mornings, early
Not
mornings. Not an evening person at all. I
okay.
get my best job done in the morning times.
So tea or coffee?
Tea, but
Tea.
it's my wife coffee.
Okay, what do you cook?
Okay, good question. I need to ask my wife. Whatever my wife,
You what do you cook?
what do I cook? Literally, uh, very tough question to ask. I think my wife is not around. That I'll try to answer something. So anything that is quick, anything that is quick, anything that can help my wife in handling her day-to-day cooking work.
All right, books or movies?
I'm a big movie buff. I used to read a lot of books, but now I try to watch videos. So definitely movies. Books are little time taking for me, so I switch to podcast now. So answer is
Okay.
movies definitely.
Wait, so now you need to tell us your favorite podcast.
Favorite podcast. Okay, so my favorite, I've been there is one podcast which is the best one yet. It's a financial part. I have, I mean, I generally try to make sure I have a well-rounded understanding of things going around. So that they kind of talk about multiple different things. They add design, they add business, finance, and everything into it. So the best one yet is something that whenever I get time, I listen to that. Then recently, Everyday AI
Sorry,
podcast. I
what
don't know
was the name of it?
the best one yet.
The
The best,
best one yet. Oh,
yeah,
cool. Nice
yeah,
name. Nice name. All
yeah.
right.
The best one yet. And then there is another one. I think it's the Everyday AI podcast. I might have got it. Yeah, let me just confirm.
I'm okay. And you forgot to mention one good podcast in your answer.
UX Banter.
UX Banter. That is the podcast you should be naming at the top of the list, man. What are you doing?
No, I need to talk about UX Banter also. Till I got invite from Juhi, I mean from UX Banter, I I think I might have watched a couple of them, but I was not like, I should say I didn't subscribe. But the moment I went into it, I thought, okay, this should be like on the top. There are like 70 plus episodes, and all the episodes are top notch. I'm not just flattering you, but then the kind of depth it is, I should say you're reeling in, doing a really amazing job, you and your team.
Flattery will take you everywhere. With that, a book that you can recommend to us.
Okay. So for me, learning is the big part of everything. Okay. So the way I started and where I am, should say the only thing that I have taken me here is the way I learn and the mentality of learning. So for that, I'm a big fan of this book, Make It Stick. Can you see this? Yeah, so Make It Stick is, it's probably not a design book, but it's mostly about the science of successful learning. So they give a lot of insight about how human brain learns and how it is important to iterate, have gaps in the intervals, have interval learning, stuff like that. It's a pretty interesting book. If you're a little, if you love to do some boring read, but still spend a lot of time on a book,
It
this
has
is
the
the,
meat.
it
Yeah,
has.
it has the content that speaks for it. Yeah,
Yes.
literally. All right. And your favorite breakfast item?
My favorite breakfast item is idli and mutton curry.
Uh-huh. Do you have mutton curry for breakfast? Well,
I
generally,
mean,
it
not
has.
every day. I mean, you asked me the favorite. That would be the best I would love to have. But if I have it on a Sunday morning, I'd be so happy. So that's
Man, that's it. All right. Final question. What is your favorite pastime?
favorite pastime is spending time with kids. Obviously, with a dad of two kids, and that's one of the top. If you like it or not, but I should say I love it. I'm not getting enough time now. Apart from that, watching some amazing movies, Malayalam movies, some top English movies of some amazing directors. So I'm still figuring out how I can use my time to watch the best movies. I don't want to watch the reviews first, but still, with the social media going all around, it's very tough not to hear anything about a movie before it releases. So I'm
All
still
right.
struggling.
So here to all our listeners who are not familiar with the genre that is being spoken about here, Malayalam cinema is Indian movie industry's best movies that you can find are made in the language Malayalam, and a bunch of it is available on Netflix. And a few recommendations. I mean, I have to say this that last year, 2024, and this year so far has been really amazing, and the movies that come out of the Malayalam film industry have been groundbreaking and thought provoking, and they are really fun entertainers to watch. And they really do touch on the subject matters which are universal about empathy and human connection. So that's where Rajit was leading us to. And I make it a point that I watch movies in every language. It's not just Indian cinema. I watch it with subtitles. I watch it with the dubbed versions, be it French or Swedish or Italian movies. It's just the way of connecting, understanding the context. As a user experience designer, that matters a lot, that how people are behaving in that social structure that they are thrown to. And that is where I think K-pop is getting very, traction in
Absolutely.
India, because you're watching something which is not made in India, but at the same time, it holds the values of the Asian culture, which we are not averse to. I mean, of course, we are Asians, and sometimes it is hard to tell people.
Bang on. You're talking
So
K-pop.
yeah, there's
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, movies open up a new window for me. So when I need some inspiration, I just look at my list and just watch some random movies from my list. Most of the time, I get a way out of my dilemma. Most of the times, so it has some magic. Maybe some scenes, the way they cut it, cinematography. So yeah, so movie is a big stress buster for me.
okay. So we can come back to the deep conversation once again with that answer and the fun tangent. Now we know how to connect with you, Ranjit. Just make a good movie recommendation, get you idli and mutton curry, not very late in the evening because you have kids to attend to. And with that breakfast, we can talk to some Mohanlal film, and then you are done for. Okay,
Absolutely
so
correct.
so you created this framework called Bridge for stakeholders management. Could you walk us through what it is and explain why stakeholders buy-in is so critical for design success?
Yeah, so I think, I mean, great that you picked that up from one of my videos. So it was, I mean, it's not a framework that I built. It was generally from my experience and the way I thought, okay, maybe just to articulate how you can actually get a consensus from a customer or have a better relationship with a customer when it comes to enterprise design. So when it comes to enterprise design, you always work with a product team and you are working with a big company, and then the relationship is always on the top. It's not just you get some requirement, you build the product and then ship it. It's a multi-year program. So that's where that idea of that video came up with. So I think the base framework or the base idea behind that was empathy, to understand what the customer actually is looking for, figure out the difference between need and what the user needs and what the user wants. Basically, it's about the customer now. The customer might want something, but it's our responsibility to make sure we make them understand. Okay, yeah, you want this, but then I think you really need this, and this is why you need this. So the way we articulate it to the customer and jump into the shoes of a customer and user. Okay, so most of the time, 190% of the time, when you work in an enterprise setup, the customer is always the user, but we want to break it. The customer might say, okay, we don't need user research, I know my users, you just do this. So that's always the dialogue.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I can completely understand. Even so, I'm writing this book, new book, which is called UX Stories, as it's a tentative title. And I'm talking about not in a case study style that this was before and after. And it's about the projects that I worked on that was just whatever happened in the middle. That is what is there in the book. So here is some excerpts that, I would like to say. So there are quotations, which is in enterprise UX, you are not designing screens, you are designing alliances.
Exactly, that's a good one. Love it.
And every team says they want innovation until it comes with a price tag, a delay, or a design review.
Of course, that's a classic. So every single project, every single enterprise design project, that's the truth. And the success of a UX practitioner lies when you can actually go ahead and work within the premises, within the limitations of that program, that customer, that enterprise or whatever, and then to some extent make them understand, okay, see, there is this difference between your need and want. Let's break it. And if you manage to get at least 1 or 2 points across to the customer and get that done in the product, I would say that's a big win for UX practitioner. And it's not like building a product. It's not your side project. They are spending millions of dollars, and they might be looking at the users, but definitely there is a budget allocated. Definitely there is a business strategy intended, right? So it's not only the users for an enterprise customer. It's about their next quarter agenda. It's about their business strategy. So as long as we fit ourselves into that whole framework, understand, yes, advocating for user is what we are here for, but we should understand that we are here for business. Time is money. So let's understand the customer better. Let's understand why they are asking us to ship this and not that, and travel with them, right? And talk their language. Travel with them.
Absolutely
Yeah, travel with
fantastic
them. Yeah.
feedback. So it makes total sense. And I think it's a different ball game altogether whenever we are dealing with enterprise. And this is the first time that I mentioned about the upcoming book. So shameless plug. Hey guys, a new book is coming, which is called UX Stories right now. It is going to talk about the UX from the trenches. That's just the stories. There is no learning in it. It's just what the hell happened. And it's funny, it's witty, it is all my frustration binded with sarcasm in one book about enterprise, about agencies, about startups, enigmas, and whatever AI is going to do to us at one place. So Watch out. I'll announce it before the next season, I hope.
I
So
think
coming
that'll be
back
a
to
good
you,
one.
Ranjit.
Yeah, no, no. I was saying that'll be a good one because I have not seen much books around that topic, enterprise design. And there are many books on enterprise design, but then I think the way you are running this podcast and this book, I look forward to seeing the content in that book.
All right. So let's say that you have worked across industries, banking, manufacturing, energy. How do you adopt your design approach for such diverse level of industries and in the enterprise framework?
So whenever I go to an interview, right, let's say I'm not shifting the topic here, but I'll come to this point. So the one standard classic question that's been asked is, okay, what is your design process? Okay, you go to any design interview, you get asked, okay, explain your design process. So okay, double diamond method, 4Ds, all those. So I would say answer to this question is, you understand why the design is woven, why the process. Okay, so why this double diamond, why this 4D? And when you go into each industries, I would say not even industries, even each customers within industries itself, the whole landscape is completely different. Okay, so some, for example, a very classic example is some customers might not even have budget for user research. They might know user research is needed, but then they just don't have the budget and time for that. Maybe the understanding, maybe the awareness is not there. So there we cannot go ahead and advocate for a full-fledged 2 month, 3 month user research process where we ask them to recruit research users and then research, conduct user interviews. There you might have to cut short the user interview process, but still make sure you find out some street smart way to kind of get hold of the users in their own way. For example, in my current program, I lead a program for Esperia Studio. Right now we have a huge manufacturing customer. So the product manager has been living in that company for 20 years. I would say he started his career there. He knows in and out of the company. Okay, so that means he know every single user by the name also. But then they haven't taken the user research seriously. Instead of proposing a user interview session and all, I randomly, when I had a discussion with him, I understood that they actually have been having user conversations with them every single day. They talk to them, but it's not actually wrapped up or wrapped in a, what to say,
Framework,
a framework
structure.
called user research. Yes, they didn't realize that they have been doing user research. So what I just did was, okay, get hold of those conversations. Maybe next time you talk to somebody, maybe record that meeting, create a pool of users who are really proactive, so that anytime you do some ideation, you can reach out to them. Okay, so proactive pool of users. So that is how I try to build that user research practice in this program right now. So it's about how you adapt to the team's understanding, the limitations, and still make sure that the design process is not completely compromised. Okay, we cannot design something with 0% user research. So this is the way you should be doing. At least that's how that has worked for me. So adapt to your framework, or adapt to the customer's
I
world.
think that this is also holds true when, it can be answered in one tangent as well, that each project is unique to its own. You cannot just say that one process which is applicable to one sort of a problem that you are solving for compared to the other one which is at hand. Even in the enterprise environment, we have to define the process individually, taking project on the face value and see what best can be done or could be achieved as we are headed. But it's a great insight that you provided, that we need to make friends and forge allegiances with people who know everybody, they have that connection. And you know what? They are the ones who will get you the buy-in. The biggest thing that is in comes in the way of a digital transformation journey is the buying in. And if you can consider or if you are able to sell it out, then definitely something can be achieved there. So, with that, Ranjit, I will come to my final question, which is, what advice would you like to give to anybody who is just starting out? I mean, you have already told us at the very beginning. I think we just jumped directly into the mentorship part. But if you can repeat the recommendation that you want to give to yourself, I mean, your younger self when you started out, that would be another way of looking at it.
So yeah, love that question, and I'll always love to answer this question whenever it's been asked. So recently we did a design AI thon. Okay, so it was basically a room full of students, around 70 students, AI and computer science students. They were just graduating. So what I led that AI-thon, the whole framework was when we started by saying, okay, the next 10 years, the core skills that is going to define you or your career is just three things. One is creative problem solving, how creatively you are able to solve a problem, the first one. Second is analytical thinking. Have you developed a keen sense of, or have you figured out the nuances of analytical thinking? Can you break down bigger problem into smaller problem statements? Then the third one was lifelong learning and curiosity. Just the three things. That's what I advised them. I told them, okay, it's not about picking up the latest vibe coding platforms, not about figuring out algorithms, not about creating crazy videos by using all those tools it's out there. It's just these three things. AI is the current wave. It's just like the internet that happened 2000, early 2000, and now it's AI. But the scale is much in a different level. I completely agree with that. But as long as you have this mentality where you can understand on a high level what's going on, pick it up, are very clear about the problem that you're solving. That's it. I'm not even talking about design here. So if you have this mentality, I think you're all set for success. Don't get fixated into just the tools to create some fancy screens or interactions or whatever it comes by. That will always be there. Have a very clear mindset of the problem you are solving. It might be smallest problem. For example, I'm handling two side projects, personal projects, where I'm trying to build a personal finance manager. Just a very simple app. I've been spending monthly around $10 for rocket money and different apps, but still I'm not using it because there is something missing in the way it has and the way my mental model works. So now it's easy for me to build something. So I'm building something by the side which can help me locally. I just install it locally in my browser or mobile phone to first manage my finance. Second is probably manage my home. Basically, I just recently bought my home, and I find it really surprising and hard that there is nothing available to manage a home here in the US. Like you need to get your periodical inspections done. Your filter need to be replaced in 3 months. All those things, it's nowhere written. You just need to rely on different documents, talk to your friends. So find the problems in your real life which you can really solve easily. Now is the best time. You can just go and build anything. Just try it for yourself. If you have a bigger group or a team to back you up, well, you
Yeah,
refine it, you sell it.
yeah, that's true. I mean, there is no time like today to do something that
Yes.
you've been waiting for. So with that, Ranjit, we are excited to add your video to our podcast. So I'm excited that we will include it. And for our viewers, here is the video.
I was a creative introvert growing up as a kid. I would easily draw for hours and days at a stretch. I loved languages but hated maths. It was at high school where my love for computers started. 2004 was a transformative year for me. Internet just happened to me and I was introduced to multimedia design as well. It was also the start of my career as a multimedia designer. I got to play some really diverse roles, work with a lot of smart people, build teams, and of course failed a lot of times. But the best part was I started loving the process rather than the goals. Almost 2 decades into my career, I'm an enterprise UX practitioner helping Fortune companies transform their businesses. I'm a semi-pro photographer, a digital storyteller, and love spending time with the 3 lovely ladies of my life. I'm Ranjit Kumar, and I am a learner at large.
What a video, man. This is Ranjit, and we are so happy to have him on our show. Thank you so much, Ranjit, for joining us today.
Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you so much. I think we should talk more, even out of this podcast. Also, just I would love to have this kind of conversation. So, thank you for all those lovely questions and the podcast. I would love to see this coming up, and already subscribed to UX Banter the moment Juhi reached out to me. So I'm pretty much picking up 2 to 3 other episodes from that. A lot of learnings from that. So keep doing it.
All right. So you have heard it from the OGR guest of today's podcast. So do not forget to share, like, subscribe, and do all the things that you do on social media. Stay safe, stay ethical with AI, and keep designing. See you guys next time. Ciao.